Hello, August. How are you? It's Past Podcast. We'll be recording every day for the month of August. Having to remember not to say April is an adjustment since I just did this a couple of months ago. But this is the past, or the Past Podcast. And we're podcasting each day in August. So check out the show. You might find something new. Episode 121, creeping through August. We got 4 days left, including today, which will make it 4. I am your host, BT on the Pass, where we do the podcast about sports and stuff. As you all probably have been able to tell from between the titles and the displays and how I've been kind of doing the August flow, I stayed as far away from sports during the week because you get enough sports on Saturday. And I know I hit y'all with quite a bit of sports information on Saturday's podcast, even running solo. As always, podcasts are uploaded to Spreaker.com. If you're looking to get into podcasting, I definitely would recommend them starting out. I did use SoundCloud at one time to do some recording, and they're pretty good as well. I just know when it came to me doing the investing and really trying to put time into the grind, this kind of became the shot, and this was the option. And as the saying goes, it stuck. So this is where we are, and that's where we're at. So also the microphone that I am using for this beautiful voice of mine, I am using the Blue Yeti microphone. So I'm just gonna hop right into it. I do have I'm kind of in my little peaceful state because I've had I don't know if you want to call it headspace challenges, but I've kind of not been 100% me some days, and that happens. And today has not been the greatest of days, and it happens, and it's just how life goes. But you just got to move forward and not let things slow you down. Before I continue, I do want to say I did check on one of my folks who I've been kind of having as a podcast plug, and it was a great feeling to be able to hear from them because I was unsure of how they were doing or their whereabouts, but luckily they're good. So if I know they're good, that means I'm good. So that makes me feel good. But we're gonna hop on into it. 2 minutes in, as always, I got long-winded intros, and then we jump into stories. So yesterday, as I mentioned, we did talk about friendships and how important friendships are. But today, I feel like I may have done this in the podcast every day in April, but I'm going to kind of reiterate it or kind of give it a little bit more spin for the podcast every day in August. And that is the concept and the theory that there is such thing as a platonic friendship. Because for whatever reason, there's always this impression that people who are friends with someone of the opposite sex, that it's impossible, it's not a thing, it's hearsay, and it doesn't last, and it's all fun and games, and it's not really real. Well, I'm here to tell y'all I have quite a few female friends who we're close, and the nicest way to put it is I would never do anything to ruin or jeopardize that friendship or that connection. They get that, I get that. It works. It's stuck. A lot of my friends who are in that position, I've truly been able to admit that I can confide in them, and vice versa. It's ironic that I'm thinking about it because a friend of mine today, I was texting. Like, sometimes people post statuses, and our natural instinct when someone posts something is, oh, well, I'm going to comment on their page and talk about it. I'm the exact opposite. I will literally send you a text message, may send you a Facebook message and say, yo, everything good? Like, do you need to talk? Is everything all right? What's going on? And usually they'll tell the story. Sometimes it's, oh, I don't want to talk about it. And I understand, like, when something happens in the moment, the last thing you want to do is address it. So I get that. And I'm very transparent in knowing that people are human. So that means when our feelings show, they show. I don't. I know people always like to do the male and female comparison, and I personally am not too fond of it. But one trend that I will always stand behind viewing and observing as being pretty valid in most cases, I'm not going to say it's with everyone because everyone is different, is that when it comes to emotions, a woman will be very expressing in their emotions. And that doesn't just mean when they're angry or when they're happy. They'll let you know when they're hungry. They will let you know when they just ain't feeling it. And I'm not saying it's like I'm personally a female and can no, because I mean, a lot of times I miss it. Most cases, if you talk to someone and you feel like you're getting short in, one thing, and this is something I feel like this is going to be a tangent based podcast, but I'm going to talk about a lot of things and kind of make some points to get people to understand, not just men, but also women to understand other women. People need space. And I think we sometimes don't understand that because we're so used to being around someone. I ain't gonna say being up under them, but like we want to spend time with people and do things together as people and stuff like things like that. And I get that. But a lot of times you truly and honestly need that you time and that time to just kind of reflect and relax and just kind of chill out and cool out and just not stress over mundane things. And I can come clean in saying that my friends who I know, I always know when they need that time with people. And I know when they need that time of, look, I don't feel like being bothered. It ain't you. It ain't the crew. It's just I need my time. And when those words never have to be said, but they can be presented and it can kind of speak for itself. A prime example, and I always refer to her, but I refer to a couple of my friends. Like, matter of fact, I'll give an even more broad example. A friend of mine that I always talk about from time to time, Kim. Like Kim has known me half of my life, and sorry since I'm putting you on blast, and I didn't mean to put the name, so forgive me, hold it to my head, not my heart. But she has been around through everything, and it's an interesting analogy or an interesting theory because we've seen each other. I can count on one hand how many times we've seen each other. But when I say our friendship is strong, like she can send me a text message at 2:00 she can send me a text message at 2:00 in the morning, and if I happen to be awake, it's a conversation that's gonna happen right after that message is sent, because that's just the type of bond and that's just the type of connection we have. You have that time and that space with people. It's sometimes it's ESP where you can just kind of feel like somebody having that off moment. And you're like, hey, you got to talk, or is something going on? If ain't nothing going on, my bad. I misinterpreted what I thought was going on. We'll continue business as usual, and it happens. Like you sometimes are like, I think what has helped a lot of my platonic friendships out as far as with females is I know when they need that time, and I know when I feel like they may not need that time, but I'm still gonna be stubborn and like come in and be a pestering big brother or little brother. My work sis, like if I'm feeling like she need to do something or need to have that headspace of just, hey, let's do something. Hey, let's get something done. Like I ain't sitting here saying you got to run around town and act like life is critical. Just do something to give yourself like a slight peace of mind. And that goes without noting, like we have to be there for, like, being there for other people is great. It's excellent. It's a wonderful feeling. I like making noise. Sorry, y'all. But if you're there for other people, but then not there for yourself, then you're literally leaving yourself empty-handed, and that's never a good idea to do. I know that we want to be in everybody's corner and help everyone through everything that's going on, but it's no benefit in helping other people and you're not helping yourself. Sorry, I'm having a fidgety moment, so I was like, let me get my fidget cube. But it's very important to value friends, but when it's friends who you can confide in, and it's almost like an unwritten document of, hey, I'm gonna be here for you through thick and thin, bad or good. I'm gonna tell you about yourself, and we're gonna be good after it's all over. You don't get that with many people. So when you have that with someone, don't take it for granted. Like, I think a lot of times we take it for granted. Like, I know with me, a lot of my, and I guess this is my friends knowing me too. My friends know when I have that firewall. Like, I have my mental firewall up where I'm like, I love y'all, but it's just, no, I really don't want to do much interacting if I can help it. And you all will understand in the long haul, it's not you, it's me. And most times, most people get it. Like, if I tell them, like, hey, I'm having a little bit of a rough patch, they'll be like, you good, do what you need to do. Like, you'll come back and we'll talk it out and everything will be fine. But if the moment lingers too long, then that's when you need to kind of come together and, like, really hash it out and figure out what's going on. And I know, and I'll say this because it's very key to the equation. Communication is always going to be an important factor in that process. And I'm not just using the communication card just to say, all right, we need to communicate better and people need to learn how to talk to each other and tell each other how they feel. That's not where this is going. That's not what this is about. That's not what I'm trying to present, because you can be a very good communicator, but you could be communicating to someone who communicates different than you. Point in context. People are great. Some people are great social media talkers. They can get on social media and tell everything. They can keep track of everything. They can know what's going on in everybody's lives. But when you sit and talk to them and ask them how they feel or how they've been doing or what's new, it's like, I don't know. Everything's fine, I guess. I mean, I talked about it on Facebook. Didn't you check it? So the way my Facebook checking is set up, I don't check Facebook every 2 minutes. Like, I have a life outside of social media. And I know I was supposed to bring that up. I may have brought it up in one of the topics, but we gotta make people matter in more ways than, well, did you see my status? Or I posted this video, I posted this picture. Why y'all ain't like it? Like, I had someone have a tough interaction with me based on the fact that they were using Facebook for, posting videos or whatever. And a particular moment when they posted a video, I wasn't available. Life happens. Life really happens. Like, I don't know how else to emphasize that, but life happens. And if I'm not available at that particular moment, that doesn't mean you get the pardon and you get the right to say, all right, I'm going to take his head off for it and why you weren't available for what I needed. And it's like, not all moments are about you. And we sometimes have to be brought back to earth to remember that, because we always want to look at it as, what about me? What am I getting out of this? And why don't you see me? And why don't you notice me? Because I saw you 10 minutes ago. I saw what you posted, and I saw you had a moment, and I addressed it then. So I don't need to address this moment as well. And we have to remember the priorities and the importance of certain things, because we get caught up in so much stuff that because of us doing that, going back to one of the quotes from last year, we get in our own way. And we wonder why nothing gets progressed and things aren't moving the way we expect them to. And it's because we're sitting there standing in our own way, wondering why there's no movement. I mean, you're in your own way. Get out your own way and move and make space for what's worthwhile and what's coming. I know that was like a weird tangent, and I do really hope y'all understood everything that I just said. But I will say this. Friendships, relationships, connections, family members, whatever you want to call it, they work and they benefit each other if there's the proper time and the proper space within that realm. If you ain't working with those two or working with those tangibles, you got a battle on your hands, and it's never good. It always turns out to become a challenge when you don't have that understanding of time and space, because you need that time to, like, hang out and do things, but you also need that space to kind of like, hey, let me breathe and miss you for about a couple of days, and then come back around and say, hey, what's going on? It's just a way to look at it, and the way to simplify it sometimes. So that's what I'm gonna leave y'all with today. I know, like I said, I was kind of jumping into the platonic friendships, and then I talked about friendships overall. But I know with many of my friends, like there's one of my friends, never met her in person, but if I text her right now, it's, hey bro, what's going on? Da, 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 da. We talk about everything. So you have to understand that sometimes it just takes that one message or that one hello to make somebody feel worthwhile and feel special. So remember that. And I don't know if I want to say this, but I will, because it's my podcast and I can do what I want. Ladies, if you are in need of that person, that's the friend. The friend ain't gonna screw up the friendship. If you need that friend to talk to him. And they're not gonna sit and take it the wrong way. Like most guys that are open to discussion or communicating have an open door policy. Whereas, hey, if you need to talk about something, hit me up. Like, let's talk about it. Let's get it out on the table. It's very few times of, no, I don't want to talk right now. I'm busy. I'm with so-and-so. Now, of course, you got those guys who are with their significant other. And, I mean, you got to respect that. So it is what it is. But as long as it's presented between him and his partner, it shouldn't be a big deal. And I think sometimes people get that mixed up, too, when it's like you're involved. But now it's like, I'm involved, so I can't talk to all my female friends. Lies. That's cute. So if you're with me, I'm gonna tell this to whoever the next female is, or the next chick that and I know I'm saying chick loosely, but the next woman who I come across that's looking relationship wise. You get Brian. Yes, I'm a lot, and I'm a handful, and I'm a headache, and I bring a lot of chaos and drama. No drama, just a lot of chaos and methodical madness. But along with that, you gonna get a lot of my friends, and you gonna get a lot of my ways. Compromising is not a challenge, but don't selectively compromise or cause compromising to become a chaotic process that it shouldn't be. And that's what I'm gonna leave y'all with tonight. Not for me, but just overall. Know what matters, and don't make the other person not matter when it matters most. Probably sounds weird, but if you go back and play back that last little 10 seconds, you'll understand what I meant. On that note, hit my 15-minute mark, actually going into 17. Y'all be good, stay safe, be positive, be blessed, do something worthwhile today, this week, this month, the remaining of the month. Also, if I have not told you all already, I mentioned it at the beginning of the podcast in August. I'll remind you again, I will be doing a writing challenge. Pray for me, because it's going to be interesting. Looking to do writing every day for the month of September, possibly do 1,000 words a day. It's going to be tough, but I mean, we got to get on this grind. So writing it is. But on that note, y'all be good. Stay safe. BT signing out. Peace. Another episode complete. Another show shared. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you checking out any current shows or previous episodes. If you'd like to follow me on social media, you can look me up on the Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter under Past Podcast. If you'd like to go to the website, it is available at pastpodcast.com, where you can listen to this episode as well as previous episodes. Until next time, y'all take it easy.